Hey, good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. And it says I'm live. Let me go and check. Don't see it. There it comes. Okay, 21 people with us. How you doing, everybody? How about Rumble? You guys there? You awake yet? Let's see. There it goes. Okay, I love it when a plan comes together. It's me. It's me, Mitch. It's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. I'm a little chilly this morning. It's a new look for me. But regardless, drink it if you got it. Oh, there's some mornings when hot coffee just tastes a little better. This is one of them, and I've been waiting to sip on this too. Mm. Oh, that's good. Well, good to see you all. Good to see you all. Uh, I just saw a comment go by. That's funny. That's funny. It's from Peter, Papa Carnivore. Of course, did you realize that you look like another Philadelphian here today? Rocky Balboa. Yeah, well, I don't have the hood up anyway. At least it wasn't cold enough for that. And now that the sun is coming up and I'm on a kind of a sunroom screen porch, it is warming up. But it was pretty chilly out here this morning when I was setting this stuff up. It was in the low 50s, which I'm sure is tropical for so many people, but not here. Not here. Not tropical here. As you can see by the sunlight shining on this side of my face, it is just right hanging right out there, shining directly on me. So I have a very cinematic look today. Today I have one side of my face is a little darker. I have a fill light that shines, but it's not a real bright one, so it's not doing much today. So this is going to be the look until the sun moves a little bit. I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Well, good to see you all. As you know, that Ellen is not going to be with us this morning, and we'll miss her. She's subjecting herself yet again to the abuse from wannabe student nurses. But she'll be here with us tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. And it'd be interesting to see how busy people get doing things other than watching YouTube as the holidays get closer and closer and everybody's out shopping and everything like that. So it's coming up. It's coming up. I made an announcement last night on our live stream, our private community live stream, which started off a little slow, and everybody in the chat was coming in saying, well, I can't make it tonight because of this. I can't make it tonight because of that. We're going out to dinner. We're doing this. But we still, before the thing was over, had a whole screen full of people in a round table. And we had Tuukka, 30am Carnivore from Finland, stayed up half the night. He joined us in the chat. And it was a great visit. A really, really nice, interesting guy. And I'm probably one of these days going to invite him on for a little while onto the Saturday live stream, which is in the afternoon in Finland, and let you all meet him, because if you're not a member of the private community, he's an interesting guy, and he's got some great insights. It's also I have a lot of questions for him about the differences between not only doing carnivore in Finland but life in Finland politically and in general. And it's interesting to talk to people from countries where you don't meet too many people. Anyway, that might be coming up. If you have questions today, and please, I'm going to try to find them all. And on these days without Ellen, on these days without Ellen, I do spend much more time in the chat. And I'm not just saying hi to people. I'm looking to interact with some of their comments and see their questions. I did have a kind of a ridiculous comment the other day. And it said, it basically was one of these people telling me how to run my life. And he didn't like what I was doing. And he said, you're spending too much time saying hi to people. I got so bored I had to leave. I basically said, sorry you feel that way, trying to be nice. You guys, you guys, thankfully, weren't that nice. At last count, I saw, I don't know, 8 or 10 people had replied to him with things like, good riddance, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate the support. It allows me to not make enemies, and yet you all know exactly what's on my mind. One guy said, one comment said, there's hundreds of thousands of other YouTube channels you could watch. And I love it. I love it when you do that. I know Peter was in there. All you guys, that's great. And I enjoy the fact that you actually read the comments, even on the replays. That's great. So anyway, put QQQs in the comments for me. I don't have the link in front of me to put up here in the chat, but you know that it helps me out when you people, if you appreciate what I do, it's a little crass commercial break here. You buy me a coffee. I truly appreciate that stuff. Coffee cups. A lot of people are getting these. That's great. That's great. And they're really nice cups too. So it's in the same place where my t-shirts are, and all those links are down in the show notes, as well as Amazon. And Amazon, let me just take a quick minute to talk about this Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff that they're doing. It's crazy. I posted 4 community posts on some deals on the stuff that I have on my website, not just anybody's products or the things that people are normally regularly buying from Amazon on my recommendations, that I use them. And every one of these things is something I paid money for myself. The air fryers, all the gadgets, the thermometers, the frying pans, and even that backup power supply, which I find useful during power failures, but also I have used them other times. If I need to run on something electric outside, I just, instead of running 3 extension cords, I grab one of those things, just take it out there and plug what I need to into it, and it'll power anything. So they got that one that I got on sale now for $399. It's 60% off. Now, it's not the most current model. They just came out with a new model, but the new model is like $650, and it doesn't do hardly anything that the old model didn't do. And I bought 2 of the old models, so I'm not going to buy a third one. But for $399 to have something like that around the house for emergencies, power failures, when you need to plug something in somewhere away from home, if you go out in your car, if you go camping, anything like that, man, it is a hell of a deal. So look up the link on my webpage, oldguycarnivore.com, and the links to stuff I use page, or find that community post that I posted yesterday. There's also a link in that. So that's enough of that. Put the questions in the chat. I'm going to start saying hi to people. And let me go back to the beginning of the chat. And first one in at 4:30 this morning, Lucy Auerbach. How you doing, Lucy? Good to see you. Good morning, Mitch, Ellen, and Low Carnies. Cool. What a great way to start the day. Yeah, you started your day about the same time I did, so nice to meet new friends. Well, good to see you. Thanks for being here. She says, sorry, meant Mitch, so I don't. Papa Carnivore Peter is always here early. And Greg Smith chimed in from, he's trucking in Oklahoma these days. He was on with us last night. Good to see you. Hope everyone is having a meat-tastic day. Yes, yes. So far, so good, and that sun feels good coming through the window. It is chilly, though. Mark Booz is here. Sorry I've been MIA, been really sick and lost my voice. See you all when I'm back and running. Well, you must have... My guess would be that you pick something up on the cruise ship there, Mark. If you're ever going to get sick, that's a great place. That's a great place to do it. That's a great place to do it. And if you'll all excuse me for some reason, I don't know if it's the cold or whatever, my nose is itching like crazy. So you don't have to see and hear this. I'm going to stop my camera. Okay. Thank you. I may have to do that once or twice out here when it's cold. Or else I have a wild mustache hair that has decided to grow up. But someone's just... At any rate, winter is coming. Winter is coming. Peter, not Peter, sorry. Tom, yeah. Wow, it's been rushing around this morning. Michael Seeley from Tampa, United Carnivore, how you doing? Ellen chimed in to say hi before she left for her, what's going on here? Hang on a second. Let me click on that. There it is. Ellen wished us all a wonderful day. Nikki W is here. How you doing, Nikki? Heading into work. Good morning to you. And Granny Boo 2's with us. Steve Rogers, Captain America, good morning from Kansas City, Missouri. Enjoying an outside fire with a crisp 28 degree temperature this morning. Wow, good for you, man. Nice fire early in the morning. Lynn Gerber, good morning from a very cold Deerfield Beach. Yeah, that's South Florida. So if it's cold down there, you know that it's cold up here. Ellen chimed in saying hi to everybody. Margie Graves is here. How you doing, Margie? Good morning all from a chilly and snowy Indiana. Yeah, I think we all got our first taste of winter with this big cold front that went through. Between the polar vortexes and the bomb cyclones, man, I don't think we stand a chance. Richard Williams, good morning from Copper Hill, Tennessee, a chilly Copper Hill. Good to see you. And here's a little question. Hey, Mitch, Steve says, I need an insulated morning with Mitch coffee mug. Well, I'm sorry, I don't think that would be worthwhile. You might be the only person that actually bought one. I'd like to have one, but actually on a cold day, I don't want an insulated mug. I'd rather wrap my hands around the cup like this and warm it up a little bit. I'll tell you that the coffee does chill down a little faster. Mike Seeley Sr.'s here. How you doing? Good to see you from Melbourne. And CB Carmack from Alabama. Good morning from the South Pole. Yeah, you've traveled all the way from Antarctica to the South Pole yesterday. We saw you. We saw CB in the panel last night. It was always good to see him. Maria Kelly, good morning from Chile, Emporia, Kansas. Let's have a wonderful day. Rick from Miami, where it may be warmer than anywhere this morning. Good morning, Quackers. Rick has a duck motif going on most of the time. Then about 20 after 8, I chimed in, wished everybody a good morning. Lori's here. How you doing? Lori's Carnivore Story. Good to see you. And we have Patty Molden is here. And it is Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. Going to be I guess the shopping is going to start in earnest this weekend, but I'm going to stay out of it. Satya is here. Satya Khalsa, how you doing? Good morning, friends from Arizona. Wayne Herman is here. Good morning, everyone from Lake Gaston. And I'm looking for questions while I'm doing this. I'm looking for questions because at this point, when Ellen is here, she'd be way ahead of me in the chat. I'm still not even up to 8:30 yet. So she'd be pointing out questions. I would breeze through the hellos, but for today we're going to do that. And if anybody decides they are so bored they can't watch it, you know what my suggestion might be for you to do, or what you should do, but in a nice manner and respectful too. Dixie Scott, happy Friday, tailgaters. She says, good to see you. The California Carnivore from Riverside. Good morning. Crazy Horse is here. Crazy Horse is here. And Sadya's wondering where Peter is. Peter was here earlier. We'll see if he comes back in. And Sandy Blythe is here, says good morning. And I got a notice here that Jason H. had an anniversary to member in the private community for 2 months. Good for you. Yvonne C. I don't usually get those kind of notices. I don't know why it flashed up there, but if it flashes up, I guess they thought it was important. Yvonne C. says, good morning. Good morning. And Booby Goats is here. Hiya, Booby. All the usual suspects. Good to see you this morning. Brenda McIntyre says good morning. And there's Peter. I already addressed this one. Do I realize I look like... Yeah, or Tim Pool. I don't know how many of you actually follow Tim Pool. He's got a very large YouTube presence. He's a strange guy, young guy, and I don't think anybody's ever seen him without a black knit cap on. He just always wears it, and he's been very active in this political season, that's for sure. He's completely done a 180 in the past couple of years, from being wildly liberal to being now conservative or libertarian. But sometimes I watch him. I get him in my feed, and he has a panel of mostly younger people because he's a young guy. And well, Satya thinks my outfit is cute. Thank you, Satya. Oh, Booby Goat says, I blurted out, it's Rocky. I can't do a Stallone impression. Yo, Adrian. That's about the best I can do. I was down in Acapulco many years ago. And on the way from the airport, I stayed at Las Brisas. Las Brisas is a resort that's up in the hills on the southern side of Acapulco Bay at a pretty good elevation. And they were made famous by the show Fantasy Island because I think they did a lot of filming there in Las Brisas, and they have the pink and white Jeeps, striped Jeeps that you rent. You drive all over the place. And on the way from the airport to Las Brisas, and when you're in Las Brisas, you have your own little hut, a cabana that's stuck on the side of this hill, 2,000 feet above the bay. And there's a swimming pool and everything, and they throw flower petals all over. It's really something, but everybody has their own little house up there. It wasn't the cheapest place to go, but it was quite an interesting place to get away. And a lot of people go there. They go into those little huts and they don't appear for 3 days. They just need to get away from everything. But the reason I'm telling you this is on the way out there, we were in the van from the hotel that picked us up to take us to out there, and we went by this big house right there on the main road, and somebody said, that's Sylvester Stallone's house. I said, wow. So he has a house down there in Acapulco as well. It's an interesting place. Rick says, everyone else around me looks like they are at the North Pole. Yeah, when you're in Florida, and it gets even into the 50s, you'd swear you were in the South Pole. People are running around with Gore-Tex snowsuits. If you remember that Seinfeld episode where George had this big Gore-Tex coat, that's what they look like. And then the Floridians look like Eskimos. The New Yorkers and everybody down here, they're running around bare feet, Bermuda shorts. They're in the frigging ocean swimming It's nuts. They're white as sheets, no suntan, no nothing. The contrast between what happens to you when you adapt to a certain climate is no more evident than Florida in the wintertime. Grandma Prepper, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. 32 degrees in South Carolina. Yes, yes. And Meatitudes is here. How you doing, Meatitudes? And Tuka's here. Turamir, how you doing? Good to see you. It was great last night. Really enjoyed our conversation. DS111, how you doing? I'm looking for questions, guys. Put them in there. I do have Ellen's. They're getting a little older, but I still have a sheet full of questions and something I can talk about to fill the time until all the questions start pouring in right about the time I'm supposed to be ending the stream, which has been the trend lately. Maybe something that is said or somebody else's question triggers another question. There's got to be a reason why that happens. Rick in Miami says it was in the high 50s when I got up. Yeah, we were 53 degrees here when I walked outside. And 53 degrees, you know it's cool. You know you need a sweatshirt. And I'm wearing today, let me show you this. Let me show you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers sweatshirt. And you may ask, Mitch. And I'd say, what? And you'd say, Mitch, why the hell are you wearing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers sweatshirt? Well, my daughter lives in Tampa. That should be all I need to say. My daughter buys me clothes for my birthday and Christmas. I don't ever have to shop for clothes because I always get t-shirts, sweatshirts, things like that. And last year she bought me this one, and it is a gorgeous sweatshirt. But I lived in Tampa Bay. When the Buccaneers were first formed. So, of course, I'm not even a football fan, but God, if somebody forms a football team in your basically the area where you live, you gotta root for them. Everybody except my daughter-in-law, who roots for the Miami Dolphins because she's been a Dolphin fan forever. And my son, of course, who was raised over there in Tampa Bay around the time that this football team was coming into existence. He's a big Buccaneers fan. So needless to say, happily they're still married after all these years, but that is a very divisive thing between them, the rivalry between the Dolphins and the Buccaneers. So I hardly ever wear this thing. I think I may have worn it once or twice in the whole year. But it's a very thick, heavy sweatshirt. It's got a nice big hood. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with the headphones, whether I can put them inside the hood or whatever. But one day, if it's less than 50, if it's in the 40s, and I got to do this out here, I am going to be out here with the hood and the Kenny from South Park look, cigar sticking out of the little opening. And if it gets colder than that, we're going to do this no cigar from inside because I'm not crazy. Larry Ryan is here. How you doing, Larry? Good to see you. And Michael Blade. Hey, man. How you doing, Michael? Good to see you. John Logan is here. And I think I said hi to DS111 already. But good lighting is what I always need by me to be more handsome. Yeah. Well, you can see that now my face the sun has gone behind one of those palm trees behind my house, so I'm not getting the direct sun on my face. So this is pretty good lighting right here. But this is a Mickey Mouse setup out here on my patio, and it comes out pretty good. I'm really happy about the way this stream has been, from a technical standpoint, has been coming. Larry Ryan says, come back from St. Pete yesterday to Chicago. Yeah, that's a culture shock right there. Loretta Nadeau, Phantom of the Opera. Is that what I look like? There's some new people I haven't seen before. Glinda, is it Buchan from Louisiana? How y'all are down there in Louisiana? How y'all are? And I'll just keep going here. Hope we're not boring you. Got 108 people here. Let me check out the Rumble chat. Not a whole lot of activity over there, Rumble. Got 12 people watching. We have Mike Seeley from Melbourne chimed in, and Rod Weeder. Rod Weeder's always there. Good to see you, Rod. Good to see you, man. No Slow is in there. Keat, K-E-T-E, and Francine B.B. Good morning. All from Montreal, Canada, around 36 degrees here today. And cloudy. Mitch, love your outfit. Thank you. Thank you, and I'll check back over there. But it's kind of cool. I'm going to, over the holidays, I'm going to really try to learn everything I can learn about live streaming on Twitter, too. I think that that's going to be a great place. And we'll be simultaneously streaming to YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter. See if I can't grow my audience of meat eaters. And Jen is here. Good morning, Jen. Good to see you. I won't put that up there, but it's funny. DS111. Some of you guys have great senses of humor. Peter says he'd like to call me cute, but that would be weird. Yeah, you got that right. Got that right. Chris, Life After Carbs, how you doing? How you doing? Now, there's Sharon McKay, put a whole bunch of question marks in there. You look great, Mitch. How did you get over your kidney stone? You look so much better now. Somehow I missed that video. Sharon, I passed it. It took about 6 days or 7 days. I think I passed it on the 7th day. And then I passed another one right behind it, a much smaller one. So I think I got rid of 2 of them. I got a twofer. And because of, it really went great. It really went great. The pain pills that they had me on worked great. And I only had to take them intermittently. I hardly took the oxy. I only, I think, took a total of maybe 3 of those through the whole episode. And then I had these, what the hell was the name of that beginning? I forget the name of the drug. It was a very, very high strength anti-steroidal NSAID. And that really kicked it out. That really worked great. But no, I have, of the 8 kidney stones I had about 8 or 9 years ago, I have 3 of them left. One, the largest one is still there, and that will probably, if it starts to move again, probably have to be busted up somehow, with the ultrasonic lithotripsy, or they have a thing they do with a laser. But the other 2 are much smaller, and I'll probably pass them without even realizing it. So I think I'm pretty well over my kidney stone episode, things that plagued me for the last 10 years because of following all the dietary advice, eating all that superfoods, and the highest oxalate foods in the world are what those morons claim are superfoods. Spinach, almonds, dark chocolate, all of that plant stuff. There are no oxalates in meat. So one thing that carnivores do not have to worry about, unless there's something drastically wrong with them, is getting kidney stones. At least oxalate stones. Calcium oxalate stones. Yeah, the coffee is definitely cooling down. So I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. And let me see who I haven't said hi to while I'm looking for questions, but this is what I'm going to be doing here this morning. Wow, a lot of you are here this morning. Terry Sue is here. How you doing? Good morning to all you coffee beans. You look chilly, Mitch. No, I'm actually very comfortable. It feels great. I know how I can warm myself up, though. I think that being maybe 6 inches from a fire might help. So, yes, if you would all excuse me, enjoy the music, dance around a little bit, warm yourselves up while I light my cigar. Perfect. Don't want to burn the microphone foam here. One thing I got, friends, is I got rhythm. I'm a musician. When I hear music, any kind of music, jazz, Latin, anything like that, every part of me is moving. My feet are tapping. I'm everything. And if it's really, people used to make fun of me when maybe Miles Davis or Oscar Peterson or some of the old jazz greats were playing like piano trio stuff, or Miles was a trumpeter. I would get lost in the music. I would get lost, and people say I would be sitting there with my eyes closed, just doing this. I love it. I just love it. I love it. So here we are. Where were we? We were Cordelia. Cordelia says, hey, good morning from Albany, New York. Good to see you. And that was it. We're about 20 minutes behind in the chat. Hopefully I'm going to see some questions come up here, or I'm going to go to the list and answer something so I can actually start maybe trying to disseminate something useful. Who's new? I'm reading while I'm going by. And you're all talking to each other. And you're still talking. Hey, here's our Italian friend from New York. Hey, Robert Bracali. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Or should I say, how you doing? Mama Bear's here. Hey, Mama Bear, how you doing? Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I got my snow gear on. I'll tell you what, the only thing that gets really that was chilly this morning. I got the sweatpants on. I got the sweatshirt. I got a t-shirt under the sweatshirt, so I got a few layers. I got the knit cap, because when you're bald, a lot of people don't realize this. When you're bald, you radiate more heat off the top of your head than anywhere else on your body, because your brain is producing so much energy and metabolizing so much that if you're bald and it's cold, you need to wear a hat. And most of the time when it's cool, you'll find me with this knit cap on. Even in the house, when it gets cooler, because that just warms up your whole body when you stop losing that heat through the top of your head. And I think that's one of the benefits of having hair. There's a couple of benefits of having hair. Hair it serves a lot of purposes, and for those of us that lost the hair on the top of our head, you go to any bald guy, and you look at the top of his head, and he's going to have scars from banging into things, especially kitchen cabinet doors, or when you're working on something like under the sink and you're doing some plumbing and you're crawling around. You're always banging your head on something. And the reason that people with hair don't bang their head near as much is the hair acts like a early warning system. As you're going to hit something hard that will cut you, you feel it touch your hair first. It's like the long whiskers on insects. They sense things. And it never really dawned on me how come I kept always banging my head, having bumps on my head and cuts. And it was I didn't have any hair. I didn't have my early warning system. So besides keeping the heat loss down a little bit, it's an early warning system when you're about to crown yourself. Now, being bald has an advantage too. In my mind, I think it's just so good looking. Something that most bald men never come to terms with, because they're always looking for ways to grow hair It's such a huge business. Why, I'll never know. I've never felt bad about being bald. I like it. I like it because there's nothing up there I need to fuss with. I don't need to wash it every day, comb it, moisturize it, condition it. Hell no. Hell no. Just shave it off if whatever little bit grows. Be happy with the way you are, even if it's not the way you think everybody else thinks you should be. Denise Schroeder, what a great work you are doing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Really do. Really do. Haven't seen any real deep questions yet. Cindy Braddock, must be cold there. I have never seen Mitch bundled up. 43 here in Texas. Yeah, you're a little chillier than we are this morning, that's for sure. Mama J is here. How you doing? And Rain Dancer 1980. Good to see you. Jake W., realtor in Indiana, sitting in my basement before I start my chores. Cold and raining in northern Indiana. Does anyone else have an issue with falling asleep after eating on carnivore? Well, you know, eating a big meal and getting sleepy is not an uncommon thing. I don't, but I'm sure a lot of people do. I don't think it's that uncommon. A lot of people like to take, I mean, that's the whole, isn't that the whole basis of the concept of a siesta is to sit down? I don't know. I never looked into it that much, but I'm sure it's not unusual. It's not unusual. Oh, God, you guys are chatting up a storm here. Here we go. CB Carmack. CB Carmack, when will you check your P.O. box? Just letting you know I sent a surprise package a few days ago. It's showing in Melbourne now. Well, the good news is, CB, that I have what they call informed delivery. And I get an email from the post office, and I have it for my house and for my P.O. box. And I get an email that tells me when there's something in the P.O. box, so I don't have to run to the post office every day. And interestingly enough, somebody sent me a postcard, and I'll show you what the informed delivery looks like. Because somebody sent me a postcard. So today, I got an actual image. They show you an image of the mail piece. So I could actually read most of the postcard without actually going to get the postcard. Normally, they just show you the outside of the envelope, but it's a real handy thing. So I'm sure probably tomorrow morning in my informed delivery, if it says it's in Melbourne, it doesn't mean that they have put it in the box yet, and they don't consider it delivered until it goes in the box. So I'll probably get it tomorrow. Thank you. Now I'm excited. Guys. What in the world could you have sent me? But I appreciate it. Thank you. And another question. Very good. Where was it? Oh no. Did I lose it? Oh, there's all kinds of questions in here. Where was it? Mama Bear asked me a question and I just scrolled down from it. Oh, foo. Another question. Oh, guys, hang on a second. There's a lot of questions here. Okay, good. I'll get to all of them, but I need to find that one from Mama Bear. Gary from Delaware asked me a question. David Kane asked me a question. But where was the one? Glenn Ish asked me a question. Oh, you guys are coming to life out there, but I want to get to the Mama Bear question, and I got to scroll up to try to find it. I had it right under my mouse. I was just going to click on it, and for some reason, Jayan asked me a question. Holy mackerel. See, Ellen would be keeping track of all this stuff for me if she wasn't playing patient for the wannabe nurse assistants. God, there's so much in the chat here. Mama Bear, where is your question? Oh my God. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to go into my other chat and search for it. Here. CB Carmack's question right after his. There you go, Mama Bear. Okay. Found it. I need to relight my cigar after all that work. Have I told you how much I appreciate all you guys putting up with me every morning? I really do. Question, Mitch, since you've lost weight, do you feel you are more sensitive to the cold? I seem to be more sensitive to it after losing weight. Or else I'm just getting tired of cold winters. No, I think that the more, seems obvious to me, that the more padding you have on you, the warmer you're going to be. I haven't actually taken notice of it. But yeah, I'm sure there's nothing unusual about that. I think it's probably very, very common. Very common. Probably one of the reasons maybe in the northern climates our body shapes change. We get shorter and rounder, like the Inuit, the Eskimos, because it does probably preserve body heat. None of us here want to be short and round. We want to be tall and skinny. And maybe we don't have to worry about the cold. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Just throw some more clothes on. I don't think there's anything wrong. I honestly don't think that there's any metabolic problem causing that. Okay, I saw a bunch of questions after this. Now I got to scroll back down to them. Okay, coming up. Where are they? Here we go. Sandy Blythe. I just ordered the iodine. Do I need to take a supplement with it? No, the iodine itself is a supplement. So you ordered the 2% Lugols, small bottle that'll last you for years, believe it or not. Has a little eyedropper in it. So I put 2 drops in my morning coffee and don't even know it's there every day. Just one time, not if I have a second cup. And it doesn't mean you don't need other supplements, but those things have nothing, I don't think, anything to do with whether you're taking the iodine, unless I've missed something or somebody's advice. But all I take besides iodine is my electrolyte mix and a small amount of vitamin D every day, and that's about it. That's about it for me. So no, you just use however much you think your dose is. I don't know if you have why you think you need the iodine, just for prophylactic sake, can't hurt you, or maybe there's a little thyroid issue. I don't know, but 1 or 2 drops should usually do it. There are some people out there that are taking a lot more for some particular reason that they take a lot more, and I don't think you need any more than a drop or 2, but unless you have some reason or somebody advised you to get more iodine in you. And the inevitable bathroom question from Juyan. Question, I have frequent diarrhea since eat meat with a lot of fat. Do you have any tips? Yeah, the only tips, first of all, I'm assuming you still have a working gallbladder. Because right after, if you have your gallbladder removed, after that, yeah, you're going to have a lot of diarrhea because you're not digesting the fat properly. You're not getting the bile is not getting into your digestive system. But that'll go away in time in most people because a biliary duct actually expands out and makes kind of a pseudo gallbladder. But if your gallbladder's okay, and you're not just in the first week or 2 of carnivore, because just go with it, 2, 3, 4 weeks should go away all by itself, and that's an issue generally related to a changing microbiome in your gut and not anything to do with the amount of fat you're eating or your gallbladder. But after you've settled down on carnivore, if you still have it, just try lowering the ratio of fat that you're eating. You may just be eating too much fat. So try that and see what happens. And that's about the best advice. And I don't think I've heard anybody else giving any other advice than that. That's how I have zeroed in on a correct amount of fat for me. And it's been a long time now since I went either way, either the constipation or the diarrhea route. Anyway, give it a try. Give it a try. Try lowering the fat just a little bit. If you start to get constipated, you'll know you're working. You overcompensated, but at least you'll know that was the cause of it. And Peter answered the question as well for you. So, and again, he answered the question. Peter's very helpful in the chat here. Did I say hi to Josephine C? I don't know if I did. And here's somebody I haven't said hi to yet. The Turners on the Road. How you doing? The S111, yeah. Yeah, and it was written, my friend. And on the 7th day, Mitch passed the kidney stone. Chris Hope is here. Hiya, Chris, man. How you doing, buddy? Oh, Chris, an old friend from the drone days. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. And yeah, I'm here every morning. I get a fairly nice crowd here in the morning. Got about 130 people on YouTube. Got 20 people over in the Rumble stream watching. Grumpy Old Carnivore came in over there. Says good morning, Mitch and everyone. And the rest of them over there are just chatting away. Good to see you. Good to see you. Mama Cracker, good morning, Mitch. How you doing? Crazy Horse is here. How you doing? Julian, everybody, man, everybody's giving you advice. I didn't even need to answer that question with all the advice everybody's getting. Sharpie Aquatics, good morning, Mitch. First time in the live stream, but listen every morning at work. Hey, welcome. Glad you're here. I'm glad I got to acknowledge your presence. Everybody enjoys seeing their name up in lights, and I try to oblige when I can. Thanks for coming. Glenish. Hi, Mitch. How long do you think it takes on carnivore to get off blood pressure meds? That's absolutely an individual thing, and depending on how many other things, how far out of whack your metabolism is. For me, if I remember back, because that was almost 2.5 years ago, I haven't taken blood pressure meds in over 2 years. Sometime in the first few months, maybe 3-4 months, probably. But I don't think it was any longer than that. It happened fairly rapidly. Once you become a fat burner, but also it depends on how much weight you have to lose. When I first started carnivore, I had been on keto for a while. I injured my head. I put on about 30-some pounds. So I didn't have hundreds of pounds to lose. When I started carnivore, and the blood pressure came down kind of with my weight. So I would say after 3-4 months, I was down to weighing, around 100 low 140s. Now I weigh in the mid 130s, but it came down as my weight came off. So I think that that might be the best answer I can give you for that question. Thanks for the question. Those kind of questions are very hard to answer because some people have something happen in 2 days, other people have it take 2 years, and it's just the differences in all of us. And there are so many. Even though we're all mostly human beings and alike, there are thousands of different adaptations that have happened over the years. It's the reason some people are lactose intolerant and other people's aren't. It's the sum total of everything that every ancestor they ever had actually adapted to. And that's all brought forward generation to generation by epigenetics, something people aren't really familiar with, but it's the reason for so many of these things that we actually adapt to that don't change the basic genes that are in our chromosomes. It changes the mechanisms that actually unwrap the chromosome and expose particular genes so that they can be transcribed and turned into the proteins that they code for. So just because we have a particular gene for some particular trait doesn't mean it'll ever be used, it'll ever be transcribed. That's all controlled by epigenetics, and what a fabulous mechanism that is. But you don't hear it talked about too much. The mechanisms that actually unwind and take that tightly packed chromosome with the entire 3 billion instructions in our DNA and unpack it to expose a particular one of the 25,000 genes that we have, so that the little cellular machines can travel along it and create what's called messenger RNA. And we all know, we've all heard mRNA, but most of us don't know what that means. And it's that messenger RNA after the gene has been unpacked and opened up, and the particular gene that needs to be read to produce a particular protein. And that stuff is all controlled by epigenetics through processes called methylation, acetylation, and it affects the histones that bind and wrap the chromosome. This is deep stuff. I love it. Fascinates the hell out of me. But it explains so much of how we adapt, even if our basic gene still almost the same as it was 50,000 years ago. We can be wildly different from our parent because of epigenetics. It's a great field. It's a great field. I don't expect any of you to understand it unless you just start reading and studying it, but it's a fantastic, the complexity, the way that the body works. It's too much information for a live stream where we just want to be happy and learn what to eat. Wait. There you go. Oh my God. Can't light a cigar through some ash. You got to knock the ash off first. Okay, there you go. And always appreciate your patience. Let's see. Boy, Julian's getting a lot of play here. Everybody's helping him out. And Mark Gilman's here. How you doing, Mark? Good to see you. Good morning, Mitch. Today's day 3 of Strict Carnivore. I won't derail myself through the holidays this year. Okay, we're gonna be. I believe you. We are going to be accounting for all of our actions over the holidays. On the first week in January, after the holidays are over, on this live stream, I'm going to be asking people to be honest. Be honest. If you were able to survive without cheating, without a bite of something, I want to know about it. More than likely, so many people will have fallen off the wagon, and I want to know the details of it. What was it that got you? With all the convictions that we all have, what was it? Because I want to try to learn more about the intricacies and the details of some of the dirty tricks that our addictions play on us that are out of our control. Something most people not only don't think of, but wouldn't believe if you told them that they're not in charge of what their body does. It's totally out of their control. And our mind has the ability to make us think whatever it is that we think we know is no good for us. It seems like a great idea at the time. Hence the phrase, "What the hell was I thinking?" That's why we always say those kind of things. And that's not just related to diet, that's related to everything. And usually comes after we let our emotions control our actions. And then we finally get our conscious mind back, our reasoning and rational thinking back, and we realize, what the hell was I thinking? And any of you who have never had that happen, I'll never be able to get any of this stuff through to you. Gary from Delaware is here, has a question. Mitch, we are both avid cigar smokers. My favorite is an Oliva, not Olivia, an Oliva Melonio. Curious, do you have an air purifier on your porch? If so, how does it work? No, I got a ton of screen windows and some fresh air, and I did have an I did have a filter, because I used to, when I had my computer company, I used to smoke in the office. I had my whole office. It was inside a big office building. I had it sealed completely so that, and I had a big ass smoke eater put in, and it worked pretty good. But still, after years of that, everything in that office was just covered with cigar smoke. So I just figure, what the hell? If it gets too bad out here, I'll move the furniture out and just pressure clean the inside of the whole thing. But so far, so good. So no, and I don't smoke in the house, and that's why I don't smoke in the house. So no, I don't use them. But they sell these portable air cleaners. They look like, dehumidifiers or tiny little refrigerators, and they do an okay job, but nothing's going to really. Ellen chimed in. That's funny. Holy hot dogs, boss, are you in Wisconsin? Yeah, it looks that way. No, I'm in Florida. But get used to this. This is what we're going to see for the next 6 months, maybe even worse than this. Maybe even, bundled up. Maybe even my head sticking out of a sleeping bag or something. Hey, good morning, Novadia Van. Hey, Mitch. How you celebrating Thanksgiving, brisket or turkey? Probably both, because I'm going out into the woods with my son who's camping, and every year we have our Thanksgiving in the woods, and he and all his friends all contribute to this big feast, and they got every kind of meat, turkey, ham, there'll be brisket, there'll be all kinds of barbecue stuff. It's really nice. I never want for anything, and they all know me, and they all know better than to try to shove stuff I'm not going to eat in my face. So it's a no stress, fun thing. I'm going to live stream from it next Thursday. I don't know what time. It'll just pop up. And then after dinner, we light a fire in the fire pit. A couple of us, my son smokes cigars. We'll sit around the fire pit smoking cigars. It's a great evening. Then I'll just get in my car. It's an hour drive, less than an hour drive from my house. And I'll come home. And that'll be my adventure for Thanksgiving. Let's see, I know there's some more questions because I scrolled by them. Here's one. Use QQQs, I'm more likely to see it, but all those question marks were obvious. Would you review how we can give you credit when we buy off Amazon, but not the things on your site? Oh, thank you for the question. That's a great question. Gives me an opportunity to talk about my Amazon site. And even though we're coming up on 9:30 here, I'll keep going. Yeah, anything, as long as you go to Amazon through one of my links. In other words, you go to my page on my website, links to stuff I use, or even if I post a link in a community tab, that's still one of my links. Amazon gives me a personalized link for every product that lets them know where it came from. So once you get into Amazon and you click on any link, you will be directed to the page for that product where you can buy it or not. Whether you buy it or not, it doesn't matter if you stay in that window, in that browser that opened up when you clicked on my link, because the fact that it was my link that sent you there is still active as far as Amazon's concerned. So you go up at the top of Amazon page and where you type in the any search for any product. And as long as no matter how much you do on Amazon after that, as long as you stay in that window that opened up from my link, They will actually give me credit for everything that you buy. It doesn't happen very often, but there are sometimes I actually get a fairly decent commission if somebody buys something fairly expensive. I remember one day I woke up and somebody had bought a $1,500 cell phone that they paid me a commission on. I mean, it's not a get-rich-quick commission, but compared to the normal commissions you get on the stuff you buy from Amazon, it was, I think I got almost $100 just for that one cell phone purchase. And yeah, it works that way. It works that way. And you could all, if you want to do me a favor, if you want to help me out and not have it cost you anything, you can do that. And if you do buy the thing that's on the link, let's suppose you go there because you just can't live another day without that bacon grease catcher stainless steel thing that I have. Just keep shopping. Don't close the window. Because if you close the window and then just go back to Amazon.com again, it doesn't know. It doesn't remember that stuff. It only knows where the window you're working in came from. So I appreciate that. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the question. We're getting towards the end of it. Wow, time really flies on these things. But I'm going to go quick through the chat and see what other questions. Question: how much iodine and when do you take it? Bill. Hi, Bill. How you doing? I've said that many times. I take 2 drops of Lugol's. And you got to be careful. Some people mistake the word drop for dropper full. You do not want to squirt a whole dropper full of iodine into anything. You want little drops. I take 2 drops. I take it first thing in the morning. And the first cup of coffee I drink in the morning is a cup of decaf, always. I try to put off I'm going to have maybe 1, maybe 2 cups of caffeinated coffee a day, but usually just 1. And I try to wait till I've been awake for a couple hours before I put the first caffeine in my body. So when I wake up, I make myself a cup of decaf, put 2 drops of iodine in it. I don't taste it, and that's my first morning cup of coffee. My second cup of coffee is going to be on my live stream here. I've been up since before 5 this morning, so this is my first caffeine of the day. No iodine in it. Iced coffee. Still tastes good. Still tastes good. Ellen is here, has a few minutes before I need to get in bed with my pretend catheter. Oh, God, I hope it is a pretend catheter. Jen S. has a question. Any of my carnivore friends feed their dogs a raw carnivore diet? That's not something for me to answer, but I hope that other people have answered it for you. I don't have a dog and don't want one. I think they can eat raw meat, but dogs seem to really go nuts over like table scraps of fatty steak or things like that. Bags Pack family. Jonathan, good morning, man. How you doing? Jonathan's in Alaska. Talk about Jonathan. We talk Wednesday nights. We have a video chat every Wednesday night. Talk about YouTube stuff. Check out his channel. He's transitioning to an Alaska-based channel about his family and their adventures. And no, I'm not in Alaska, Jonathan, but it feels like it this morning. Although it wasn't too bad. It was the lower 50s. Could have been worse. And I'm trying to work my way down the chat here. Ellen is still here talking to everybody. Tammy Pitarch is here. How you doing? She's definitely more sensitive to the cold, answering a previous question. And here, Dixie Scott had a little question. Don't you need selenium with iodine? I don't remember having heard anybody recommend that. No, I don't. I'm going to look it up though. Now that you brought it up, but I haven't heard it anywhere. And I've seen a lot of videos about using iodine. The problem is there are so many videos out there that think we need to be taking 150 different supplements a day. So they always keep adding stuff in to something that should be simple. What? Your electrolytes don't contain calcium? They're no good. You know, it's always something. It's always something. I try to minimalize. And I haven't heard much talk about selenium at all. But I'm going to look it up because obviously, Dixie, you heard it somewhere. Here's IB Bill 42 is here this morning from Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Good to see you. Quickly, let me see if I got any more questions. Polish Mike's in the house. How you doing? It's possible to get too much iodine from supplements, so it's best to start low to be safe. Yeah, I agree with that. And let me just say one thing real quick. Everybody in the chat certainly tries to be very helpful and answer questions, and that's the purpose of it. I personally can't and don't have time to read everybody's answer because there may be something in your answers that I found out differently. So let me just make a quick disclaimer here in the chat to anybody that might want to hold me responsible for something that somebody in my chat says. You're free to say anything you want. You're free to give any advice you want to anybody about anything they talk about. In fact, I encourage it. But unlike Ken Berry, who has coaches that he's trained who know how to only answer questions with certain answers that he knows is correct, and he requires them to be schooled. In other words, they are certified to answer these kinds of questions on his channel. I have none of those here. He does that because he knows that we need to be careful. Even though we didn't put the answer in there, some lawyer somewhere down the road could hold me liable if you, my friends, give out something that is alleged to be misinformation, even if it's not misinformation. So I urge caution, especially if any of you start giving people advice to not listen to their doctor, to not take drugs, to not take statins, to do anything that you have noticed that I'm so careful not to play doctor. And I'm going to ask you all, please do not play doctor here. It will only ruin my life should something bad come of it. I appreciate that. And I think there's enough said about that. As you know, I give advice only from my own personal experience and make that very, very clear. Here's another question. Mitch, did you ever suffer from leg cramps at night? Oh, hell yeah. I make my own element to keep the cramps. But yeah, that's why I take electrolytes. That is one of the biggest clues that you might be a little short on electrolytes. Is leg cramps at night. And I've been plagued by them all my life, and I know right now if I skip 3 days of electrolytes, if I forget to mix them up in the morning, which I do sometimes, especially if I hadn't had any cramps the night before, I'll get cramps again. And if I don't drink the electrolytes, they'll get worse. So there's no doubt in my mind that I need that, most likely potassium. That's one of the reasons I don't use Element, because it's light on potassium. But fortunately, I get tons of potassium in the food I eat, especially the bacon. Each slice of one of the Wright's bacon things has close to 100 grams of potassium, but we need 4 to 5 grams of potassium a day, and most of us are seriously deficient, which is why I recommend, use some electrolytes. It couldn't hurt. But yes, leg cramps are absolutely one of the most obvious symptoms of being short on electrolytes. Any more questions? God, they just keep coming and we keep going. I think I need to go over to the other chat, go way down to the bottom of the chat, start going backwards to see if I got any questions real quick. Because it's time to go, my friends. God, it's gotten so comfortable out here with this sun shining through. I don't have the screens open, so it's shining almost like it would in a hothouse, and it's starting to not get hot in here, but it's getting, the chill is off the air, and it's getting comfortable. I think in this sea of chatting, I may have gotten to all the questions. If we see any I didn't answer, I think Ellen will probably make a note of it. And we'll get to it tomorrow morning. No more questions. So my friends, come to that time. Finish your coffee. And while I play a little happy music and relight my cigar for the final time today, take a minute. Say goodbye to all your friends on here. We still have 131 people. Wow. 24 over in Rumble. That's great. So gratifying to see that everybody hasn't just bailed and got bored. As long as you guys keep coming, I'll keep doing this. Anyway, I'm going to relight this thing. You say goodbye. And then if you've all behaved yourself, I'll give you the day off. Gorgeous. All right, my friends. Thanks for coming. Thanks for keeping me company on this brisk Friday morning. I'll be here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. And we'll do it again. So think up some questions if you want to ask. And I'll always do the best I can to answer them. And with that being said, here you go. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.